All right, Nick. Pleasure, an absolute pleasure to do this with you. First of all, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Tom. Likewise, to be here with you. Good to have you here in Dubai, right? I know you're only visiting shortly, but it's good to have you here. I'm excited for the podcast, really.
Yeah, very short, but what I quickly realized was I want to stay.
Yeah, you just said that a moment ago before we started rolling on cam.
Yeah.
You're speaking to the right person when it comes to getting yourself across the line of moving to Dubai. I've had many friends reach out to me saying, Nick, I'm about to move here. Can you give me the final push? I said, sure, I can. It's been a dream of mine to move out here to Dubai, and having made that come true for myself, I'm loving the place. I think it gives you everything that you need in, achieving your goals, being that being entrepreneurship, right? Or also connecting with people, networking, which is something I'm big on. And I'm happy to hear that you're looking to move here.
Yeah, so I'm just curious because for me, the first time I came here, I was like, whoa, right? Because I've never seen so many tall buildings. I've never been to New York, but I'm sure this is another level, even just the magnitude. Like you look up, it's like crazy, right? So what was your first impression of Dubai?
Um, the first time I came to Dubai was December of 2022 with a friend of mine, and we stayed here 1 week. And my first impression, it's just a different world when you come from Europe, right? A lot of things are very different. Like you don't see trash on the streets at all, right? When I now come back to Germany and I see dirty streets, I'm like, whoa, this is kind of weird, right?
Even Germany, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I moved here from Germany, lived in Germany, grew up there. And my first impression was just similar to what you just said, tall buildings, overwhelming. But as someone who loves exploring new things, I'm very curious, right? I was very much so attracted by Dubai being so different from what I know, right? And everybody was so positive and friendly, and I'm a very outspoken, outgoing person, so
Yeah.
I like connecting with people. And I just felt like everybody was so open to connect and, hey, what are you doing? That's amazing. And your network grows very quickly when you're here, right? Like I said earlier. And my overall impression after leaving Dubai, after just having been here 1 week, was, wow, this is a place I might want to live someday. And just to add, not too long after that, in March 2023, I came back for 1 week again by myself. Amazing week, right? Meeting with people I was working with at the time, people I was looking up to, still am, that I'm learning from, working very closely with. And after that week, I already made the decision. I'm like, yeah, I'm moving here.
Yeah.
So I've spent 2 weeks in the country, in the city of Dubai, and already decided I will move here. And that same year, last year in December, that came true.
Yeah, absolutely love that. That's pretty cool. I didn't know you were here already in 2022. I don't know about you, but for me personally, it's just the perfect environment for success. So first of all, I mean, we talked with Raf earlier about the convenience of everything, right? You just save so much time because I feel like most people waste so much time by doing these little things like cooking, cleaning, all these things that take away from focus, but also you refining your craft,
Yeah.
right? But then for me, it's also the like being around wealth. I've never seen so many Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and it just elevates your standard. And it's like, shit, that's possible. If they can, I can too. And being around that just elevates you. I don't know
Yeah.
how you feel about that.
I feel the exact same way. That was one of the reasons why I moved here. I mean, like I said, when I came here by myself for a week, I was meeting up with mentors of mine that are on a different level, that just showed to me what's possible, right? Meeting people my age doing six figures, multiple six figures in profit every single month. I was like, wow, that's like a real thing. That's achievable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And realizing they just started and they didn't stop,
Yeah.
right? They just had a goal and they kept pursuing it instead of jumping around between business models and having this goal and then this thing. And it's a really big part of becoming successful to have people around you that show you what's possible. Because when it comes to sales, which is something we'll dive into later, the most important sale you'll ever make is selling yourself on the fact that you can achieve the things that you want to achieve. And when you convince yourself of that, you know that's the case, you go out and do it in the first place, right? And for me, that was only possible through meeting people that showed me there's there's goals to achieve and the horizon is much wider than I thought. And that made me believe in myself to take action and actually move towards these things.
I love that. I don't know about you, but I want to touch on sales more later. I want to transition into a little bit about you more, but just real quick, for me, learning sales has also allowed me to sell myself on, or just understand and become aware of how I make decisions. Why am I avoiding this? What am I afraid of? And just really breaking that down for myself has allowed me to step up my own game. And I think that's so freaking cool.
Yeah. Sales is an art form, really. But it also, like you've said before, we've had this conversation another time. It's really a catalyst to helping yourself not just improve, right? But understand yourself, reflect on certain things. Because in sales, you learn so much about psychology, how people make decisions, what's holding people back from something they actually really want, right? And in understanding all these things and seeing it in other people, like you've just mentioned, right? You learn how to see that in yourself, right? And just realize when you're making decisions, why you're making these decisions, why you're not, right? And it's an interesting thing.
100%. So you mentioned you're 24.
Yeah.
Like, that is young. Like, obviously we see 19-year-old millionaires, whatever, but really, like, for the majority of people, if you told them you are as successful as you are at your age, that's impressive. So maybe walk me through your story a little bit. Like, how did we even get here?
How did we get here? I mean, the short form is grew up in a small town in Germany, right, where not a lot of people lived. And most people from that town kind of all go down the same path of just, going the normal route of getting into 9 to 5, working that, and just being somewhat happy doing that, right? And I went to school never really knowing what I wanted to do afterwards, right? I've always been curious about many things, right? And interested in all different kinds of things, but I never was like, that's it, that's what I want to do. So I didn't have a great degree, right? I didn't finish school having the best grades because I just didn't know what I was doing it for. I saw no purpose in studying a lot for my biology exam because, I'm not really sure I'm going to use this ever again, right? I had classmates who were like, I want to get the best grades possible to go to this university and study law and med and all these amazing things that they went on to do. And I, after school, not knowing what I wanted to do, just ended up at the local supermarket being a cashier, making $500 a month. And I truly, at that point, asked myself, just because of the expectations I had and comparing myself, of course, like most people do, right, to, for example, my classmates, just thinking, wow, did I fail? Like, am I a failure? Is this all I'm going to amount to, right? And I did ask myself those questions at the time. I then transitioned into becoming a personal trainer, which was a great step up for me, right?
What was the transition? Why did you make that?
Well, one, because to me personally, it didn't get more boring than being a cashier. Hello, beep, ciao, beep, hello, just so mundane, right? And I had to change something.
Pain a change.
Exactly. Then I became a personal trainer, which was a huge step up for me, right? I could listen to music whilst coaching clients and helping them with something. I was very passionate about fitness and sport at the time because I used to be really uncomfortable in my own skin, being super skinny and everything. And then by going into the gym consistently, starting combat sports, hitting the gym, all that stuff, kind of built myself confidence, and that gave me a lot as a person. And being able to then help other people achieve the same thing through going to the gym, having someone to talk to. It was a lot of fun. It was great. And most importantly, I had a boss at the time who I learned one thing from, and that was sales. He was a sales coach at the time, and we were selling a gym membership that was like in the premium segment. So a few €1,000 to basically train at the gym and have personal training sessions only. And when it comes to like that price range, right, in the fitness sector, it's above average.
Yeah, definitely.
So you really needed to have some sales ability to be able to close sales there. And I quickly figured, hey, I'm enjoying this, right? And I was good at taking feedback. I remember getting called in for feedback from my boss, and out of 3 apprentices, 2 were crying and 1 was really excited about feedback, and that was me, because I knew that was the only way to get better, right?
Can I touch on that real quick?
Sure.
Was it always like that?
I would say yes. I mean, I've always been confident enough to say, yeah, just give me the feedback. What's the worst that can happen? I'm a very optimistic person. And yeah, if you give me feedback, I'm like, the best that can happen is I take something away from it. So all good.
That's one thing I love about you, Nick. You never stop smiling. Like, genuinely. It's so freaking cool.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that's something I hear often, that I have a lot of positive energy. I get up in the morning, I'm in a good mood, right? Sure, everybody has like days where they feel a bit off or whatever. But generally speaking, I'm enjoying life, enjoying the journey. And I think that's also a strength in sales, because you got to be in the right frequency of helping people, right? And wanting to talk to people. Like, not playing, I'm excited for this conversation, but actually being that, right? It's something that I've never struggled with, because I was actually genuinely curious about every person I met, right? And for me, again, just going back to my journey, I feel like I've leveled up slowly in the right way, right? I've never wanted to be that flame that bursts up really high and then just stops burning. Like, feel that flame that just starts burning and it keeps getting bigger step by step by step. That's the way to go. So started working minimum wage as a cashier, then started as a personal trainer, which was more enjoyable, but still doing that 2.5 years, I was still making $500 a month. Later on, like, it does happen in many 9-to-5 jobs, right? I just got treated like, not great by your boss. I think that happens to many people. And I just wanted a change. And I would say I got somewhat lucky by meeting someone who told me about sales, closing deals online, right? Which was somewhat doing what I already did in my sales job. But just by doing the same thing in a different place, I was able to quickly make way more money and like really change my life completely, and working location free, time free, setting my own hours, and just commission wise making a lot more than I used to. And I'm super grateful for having gone through that step by step of knowing what it is like to work minimum wage, right? Knowing what it is like to have your boss tell you when to get up, where to be at what time, and when to do over hours because he says so, stuff like that. So I think that's one of the reasons why I'm always smiling. I'm just so grateful for the life that I now get to live.
That is so cool. That is so cool. I want to touch on that gratitude, etc. Because for me personally, you know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can touch on my story in detail a little bit later. But I grew up in South Africa. And people often ask me, like, because they also tell me, like, Dom, you're so positive. Like, how do you do it? And I believe that life is perspective. Life is how you see it. For me, growing up in South Africa, there's a lot of poverty, Nick. A ton. Imagine this. Every single traffic light you cross, there's maybe 2-3 beggars, right? Not just the occasional one, every single one. Next to the richest square mile in Africa, there's a massive township. Township meaning poor people living in non-livable conditions, right? And there's 2 things that can happen with you there. Either you're entitled, like, I'm better, I deserve better, like if you grow up sort of somewhat wealthy, right? Or privileged. Or you can look at it and be like, shit, I'm so freaking grateful. I have an opportunity and I am doing them a disservice if I do not make the most out of my life. And that is the perspective I've had ever since. And I believe that's a big foundation of why I'm so grateful. But then gratitude being such a foundation to overall perspective and then success.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. And that's one of the reasons why I knew it's great talking to you. We align on so many things, what you've just said. With being grateful, I think for me personally, that also came through just knowing the story of my parents. They also both grew up fairly poor. My mom is one of 10 children in a family.
10?
They both have, like I have mentors and role models, people I look up to, but my biggest inspiration by far in my life are my parents, right? And I'm so grateful for just, having them as role models, what they have gone through, the discipline and risk they've taken of building the life for themselves that they have. And I think I know that added expectations that I had for myself, thinking, wow, I had all this as a child, being given all these opportunities that I felt exactly like you've just mentioned, you described, right? Just like, I have to make this work. I'm so lucky to be in this position in the first place, right? And yeah, I think that's a great perspective to have.
I want to touch on you also being minimum wage because I don't know, in the moment you probably didn't have the vision, right? But it's often hindsight that we look back at our past, I don't know, traumas or the things we went through in order to become the people we are now, right? And I often say that in order to make $1 million, you first need to become the person that is able to make $1 million, right? And I often think, for example, celebrities, right? I don't know if I envy their children. I don't.
Mm.
The reason LeBron James is LeBron James
Yeah.
is because he went through a ton of shit in his childhood. And look at so many successful people. It's the hard times that shape you. And if you can look at these hard times as like, this is fuel, this is a tool for me to grow and become into the person I can become.
Yeah.
It shifts your perspective.
Absolutely. I think that's a big part. I think Andrew Tate has said this many, many times. It's the being broke that you need to appreciate everything that comes after. That's why I said I appreciate having worked for minimum wage, knowing what that is like, right? And that's how you are able to really be grateful for what you have when you do make money, right? And you live abundantly, then yeah, it's just all comes together so you can appreciate these things.
100%, Nick. And then you went to that online job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the transition there, was it difficult or?
It didn't feel difficult.
Mm.
I think it is somewhat difficult. It depends on what you compare it to. But with anything, the reward is so much bigger than the difficulty you might face. Like, for me, the transition wasn't difficult because I was already in a sales position. Like, I'm okay, sales, like, I can do this. Generally, when I met people that were doing this thing of, right, being closers, closing deals online, they told me what they do, how their day looked, and what the task at hand was. And I said, I can do that. When do I start? Like, I had total conviction that I was able to crush it, right? And compared to many other things, it's not difficult. Like, you can start on the side of your job, right? Just do a few hours, and people are like, oh, I don't know how to sell. Like you've mentioned earlier, everything in life is a sale, right? Every conversation that you have is. And yeah, I was also thinking, like, what's the worst that can happen? Let me just get into this, figure it out, and go from there. Being at what I considered somewhat rock bottom, right? A situation where I had no clue what I wanted to do after, just really making no money, being treated like, yeah, not great by my boss. I thought, like, hey, I'll do anything to get out of this position. So I just took the chance. And sure, if you get an opportunity, you get somewhat lucky to learn about this thing and figure out that that opportunity is out there, you have to take it. And what I did was I had training and then later sales calls before work, after work, and for a few months I put in 12 to 14-hour work days. But it needs that push, that boost of energy, that just relentless going after it to break out of the life that you have. And once you've made it out, life somewhat looks different. And you're not doing 12, 14-hour days, right? As a sales rep, you can decide if you work 3 or 8 or 10 hours, right? Whatever you want, or however much money you want to make, right? Getting back to the core of your question, was it difficult? It wasn't difficult because it was my only way, in the sense that I was thinking, I'm going to make this work no matter what, because going back to that life, not going to happen, right? And again, like something that we touched on earlier, for me, a huge advantage was meeting people that were actually doing it, crushing it, making 10, 20, 30K per month in that exact opportunity. And I got to talk to these people before I went at it, right? Ask them for advice. And that just gave me the conviction, okay, it's possible. They were able to do it, right? People that I now work with very closely, for example, Fabian was a huge motivation. He's now coaching my clients and students alongside myself in my coaching program.
Oh, nice.
And he used to be a police officer, right, working shifts. And whilst working shifts as a full-time police officer in Germany, he was already making 10K plus a month on the side as a digital middleman, right? Closing deals online. And then went all in. He's just one of many people that motivated me to see this is absolutely possible. So I went for it.
Sometimes that's all we need, right?
Yeah.
That one person that did it, and then we're like, shit, I can do it too. I mean, the most profound story about that, or the most popular one, is the 4-minute mile. Like, people didn't believe it was possible until it was done.
Yeah.
And then after that, boom, 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 right?
Yeah. That, looking back in hindsight, it all did go really quickly. Like 2 years exactly. 2 years ago exactly, I was here in Dubai for the first time. I was still a gym apprentice at the time, right? And I had just found out about this opportunity of making money online, right? I'd maybe closed my first 2-3 deals, made like $200-300 in my first month, right? So just really dipping my toes into it and seeing what it's like. And now 2 years later, life looks pretty different. And I think one of the reasons why I excelled so quickly is because the contrast between the life that I had at the time with my 9 to 5 and the life that I just got to experience in a slight bit of being in Dubai the first time, meeting these people, working with these people directly, millionaires just crushing it, right, at a young age, living in absolute freedom. I saw it online. I was like, wow, I can't wrap my head around how lucky I am to me being this apprentice, right, not amounting to anything. Like I said, that was my mindset at the time, working with these people, having hundreds of thousands of followers, running huge companies, making millions. I was like, wow, I get to work with these people. I was so excited. And the contrast got bigger and bigger the more I got successful on that team and really, had these people praising me for my ability, what I was doing, becoming a part of the team, and making a lot of money on the side of my job, right? Like sometimes in less than an hour, I was making double my salary. I was like, wow, this is insane. And that helped me just push through. Because what I got to experience, what I got to work towards, just proved to me every single day that it's worth it. Keep going, keep pushing.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I did.
Love it. And where are you now? Like, obviously, then the transition to online, you were working remotely, closing, and where you at now? I know you have your own coaching business, but you also do some other things. Maybe share with the audience, like.
Sure. So essentially what I did, I got onto a team, right? Very successful sales team, as someone who had no experience, right? And this is also something I tell many of my clients. The companies that you will work with are not looking for the perfect track record. They are looking for people to sit there and just have confidence. And that's what I had. I just, for whatever reason, told the business owner, listen, you're going to give me some leads and I'll show you what's going to happen, right? Just telling them I need to leave this 9 to 5 job. I'll do whatever it takes to make it work. And I did. So I got a chance on the team, right? First with a few test leads, low budget leads, let's say that, right? Closed those. Then got onto the main team and did very well very quickly. And in the first full month on the team, I became the highest performing sales rep that business had.
First full month.
Yeah,
Let's
and
go.
I continued performing as the best sales rep on the team as long as I stayed there. And from that point, the company I was working with was also consulting other companies. So a bunch of clients told the business, listen, we need help with sales, right? We need to build a team. We need better sales reps. And that company kept pointing at their best sales rep, which was me at the time, right? So I got into the opportunity of then building sales teams, running sales teams, and being the head of sales for multiple companies, right? That were starting their journey. So I really enjoyed that a lot, right? In the team I was at the time, I got to build a team under myself, right? Running that sales team, onboarding people onto the team, and educating people in their ability to sell, right? Becoming closers. long story short, I scaled a bunch of sales teams from 0 to 6 figures in under 6 months, right? And took on more and more clients, which I build sales teams for, and that's something I do now, right?
Yeah.
So what I do goes hand in hand. One, I have a coaching program, a direct mentorship with me and my team, which includes other sales reps that are even better at me, right? That have more experience, more deals closed, that have just themselves closed far beyond $10 million in sales. And I'm really grateful to have them on board coaching my clients. Now, that's one thing that I do. The second thing is building sales teams. So I need great sales reps. So my coaching program, who brings up people who have great potential, who want to get into the industry, they get connected right with the businesses that I have at my hands that need sales reps. I have companies reaching out to me that sometimes I just can't, I gotta say, listen, I can't help you at this point in time, right? Because I've got so many people in my network saying we need great sales reps that I'm able to get my clients results pretty quickly, but also get the companies that I work with results in scaling them to, I said one company I told you earlier about that I'm working now with, we took them with the 150K cash collected in the first month, now 250K cash collected this month, looking to in the next 3 months hit at least $500,000 per month with them. And of course it's nice to go hand in hand. You make the closer happy, he gets a great opportunity to make money. You make the company happy, they get a really hungry sales rep who wants to crush it. And that's what I do.
I think it's a amazing business model because it's just such an awesome combination, right? Yeah. You create the talent, or you find the talent and you teach them, but not just teach them, but teach them your way, your philosophy. And then that ties into, okay, let me position them in companies, but now you're confident that these reps are actually good because you taught them.
Yeah, that's the point. I mean, of course, in the beginning, it was all trial and error and testing, right? But when I figured out, okay, I'm trying to place people in teams, and I didn't know if they were really good enough. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that, because at the end of the day, the reason why I am where I am now is because I built a reputation for myself. And if I say, I'm going to give you a great sales rep, I did that. And that company came back saying, Nick, that sales rep is doing amazing, but we need more, right? And that's the reason why I now have a network of business owners reaching out to me constantly saying, we need a sales rep, right? We're growing the sales team, we're scaling.
Yeah.
And only through getting both myself, but also my amazing team, right, of other coaches, mentoring our clients, they are able to do really well for themselves.
I love that. I also want to touch on, because obviously teaching is a different skill to actually doing it.
Yeah.
So where did you get that skill from? And leading too, right?
To be honest, it kind of came naturally to tell a bit of a funny story. When I used to, as a teenager, I used to play a lot of video games, right, with my friends and everything. And we used to sign up to tournaments as a team with this video game, right? And because I just enjoy it, I took like the coaching role for the team. I'm like, okay, guys, this is like the strategy that we're going to go for in this tournament. This is the team that we're going to play and whatnot. And I literally remember standing there with an old iPad in front of all my friends just saying, this is the team. This is the strategy. This is what we're going to do. And then later becoming a personal trainer, right? Coaching again. I've kind of attracted to that naturally. And coaching sales reps just happened at some point when I told my best friends about this opportunity and me starting in sales and the money I was making and how it changed my life. And they were like, yeah, really? I'm like, yes, this is crazy. You have to do this, right? And they were just very shy on pulling the trigger. And I said, guys, I can't hear it anymore. I'm going to coach you myself. Just listen. And I kind of forced them to listen. And they also, right, went into sales. I got them onboarded onto the team that I was a sales rep at the time. 8-figure business, right, where they performed really well from the get-go. So I figured it worked. Why not do it again? Kept doing it, and just naturally started coaching more and more sales reps until I really made a business out of it to now deliver that to anybody who is willing to bet on themselves and take massive action, right? I'm very grateful to be in a position where I can handpick who I work with when I know I can get someone results because they want to make it work, right? There's some people out there who just think that life is gonna, I don't know, take care of you for whatever reason. They're like entitled to think, oh, I deserve this and that. You deserve nothing. You have to go out and get it, right? something that you said earlier, you have to become the person that makes $1 million, right? That aligns with a quote that I think I said this on a podcast before. A book I love, recommendation from one of my mentors, is The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And it says that your income can only grow to the extent that you do as a person. That couldn't be more true. And you helping people kind of perform on the level that they need to perform on physically, mentally, I think you can say a lot about that exact thing, that you see potential in people, but they're just not doing what they know they should do to reap the rewards.
Yeah, I think that's so profound. And I want to touch on that because have you ever sold weight loss? Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, and you can obviously know that with weight loss, it's mainly really, really fear, right? A lot of people are just afraid of either themselves, even the transformation, or just giving up certain things. And there's a lot of fear. And I believe that me selling people on transforming their life, getting shredded, right, has really allowed me to understand people's fears and be able to become a decent closer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Can you relate to that?
I can relate, and you're more than a decent closer, right? Especially, we could get into the details, but when it comes to tonality and really emotional selling, having empathy and resonating with the prospect, you're elite. You're really good at what you're doing, Dom. And yeah, when it comes to weight loss, like I said, I've had countless conversations of selling people the outcome of losing weight, right? Mostly it's people having fear of not achieving it in the end because I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm going to show up to the gym or if I can actually do this and whatever. And I think that's also one of the reasons why I've kind of went on to coach, just because, of course, there's different objection handlings for different objections in sales that you get. But when you get the objection of people not believing in themselves, you have to give them what they're lacking, which is the energy, the belief, the conviction that they can do it. And again, I think that's also something that helps me a lot, having been at a point in my life where I didn't believe in myself and I thought I couldn't achieve more, I was a failure and whatnot, right? Outworking my self-doubt, now knowing I can achieve anything that I want to achieve, and I will, just helps me seeing the potential in people that I talk to and knowing that no matter if they believe in themselves right now, I know they can achieve it. And I know which buttons to press in people so they do believe in themselves and they go out and take action. And this is not a one and done thing, right? I see this in many clients who hit, let's say, their first 5K month as a sales rep, which is great, right? But then they kind of feel down and, I haven't hit 10K per month yet and this and that and everything. Just pressing the right buttons again and getting them to be convinced they will make it. That's all it takes. As long as you start and you don't stop, you will reach your goals. And just reconfirming that with people, also helping people be grateful. Look at what they've already achieved. Having come from an underpaid job to then making, for example, 5K per month, location free on your own schedule, getting praise from much more successful people that you get to network with being a sales rep for these businesses. That's amazing, right? Of course you want to hit bigger numbers, and you will. Just look how far you've come, continue, stay consistent. Just to add something that we've discussed off camera. You help people, like I said, stay consistent, stay in shape, right? And the gym is something that resonates with just being successful, working for yourself, being an entrepreneur so much. Because I've had this conversation with a friend and mentor yesterday evening where he said the best entrepreneurs, they just do what works over and over and over again. Doing the boring stuff that you know will get you results. That's where most people fall off. Being successful once, making $1 million is an achievement, sure, but doing that consistently is much more of an achievement. Because so many people, like I said, they fall off, they get interested in this, or they're like, money doesn't make me happy, what now, right? It's so essential that you manage consistency in what you're doing. Same thing with the sales rep. Just keep executing what works, improve your skill set, right? But don't try to reinvent the wheel when you already made it in some sense. If you know how to make 10, 20, 30K per month, you know how to make a lot more, right? You just got to keep doing what already works.
100%. And I love that because have you read the book Mastery
No, I haven't, but I
by
think you've
Robert
told me
Greene?
about it. Yeah.
I haven't read it myself either. But the concept is focus. And I'm such a big believer in focus. Look at what you're doing and eliminate as much as you can. Don't add. Most people add. Eliminate as much as you can. And genuinely, if you want to transform your life, become good at one thing, and focus and be consistent. How can you compete with Kobe Bryant if he's waking up 4 a.m. every single morning?
Can't.
And you trying to do all these different things, having 10 businesses while doing this. Even sales. The best sales reps just do sales. But then you can even get more granular within sales, they focus on the basics and they improve them. So if there's any advice I can give to someone just starting out, like literally, it doesn't take as much time as you think it does. It doesn't. It takes focus, the right vehicle, and consistency.
Yeah. Let me touch on a few things that you've said. I said this on a podcast before. The vehicle that you're in, let's say the boat that you're in matters more how hard you row, right? It's not how hard you work, it's where you put that work, right? That couldn't be more true, right? For me, I realized early on, like if I want to make a lot of money, I just work directly with the people who are already making a lot of it, just take a piece of the pie, right? Instead of starting my own business and just figuring out all these 10 skills at least that you need to be successful in business. I'll just focus on one skill, get my foot inside the door to get that network, get that knowledge, learn from people who've already been there, done that, making a lot of money, right? And that's just a catalyst to learn all the rest, have a great network, make a lot of money, which certainly makes it easier to start anything after that, right? Sales is just the way to go as a beginner. But to touch again on what you just said, when it comes to focus isn't sitting down and being just super dialed in for 5 hours, completing a task as fast as possible. That's not focus. Focus is, like you've said perfectly, eliminating other options, right? A strategic no is a strategic yes, in the sense that if I say no to going out, to partying, to just hanging out and just doing whatever, I'm saying yes to what I can make of that time otherwise, right? For example, committing to your goals, working on that business, improving your sales ability. Saying, no, I'm not going to go party on Saturday because I know I'll be done on Sunday and I can actually take sales calls on the weekend, make even more money, right? Whatever you want to do. So eliminating other options is so valuable. Focus is committing to a goal and working on that for an extended amount of time until you hit that goal, right? It's that simple, just like the gym. Yeah. Nobody's going to look like Hercules from one crazy workout, right? You just have to do the basics correct for a long period of time, right? Same in combat sports, which is one of my passions. Like if you look at boxing, the best boxers, what do they have? Sound fundamentals, good jab, right? Nice footwork, good defense, just basic stuff, but they're great at it. And that's what seals the deal. Same with sales reps, entrepreneurs, right? If you do the basic stuff really well, you're going to succeed.
100%. And you said it so nicely. Saying no to other things is saying yes to yourself and to your dream. And I want you as the viewer to ask yourself, like, what are you still saying yes to that you are actually saying no to yourself to?
Yeah. I mean, so many people, let's say everybody, we all know what we should be doing to have more success, be more productive. Shouldn't do this, but you do it. I should do more of this, but you don't do it. For example, sales reps, right? Almost all sales reps know if I review my own calls, I listen back to myself, I take notes, right? I get somebody else who might be more experienced to review my calls and I get some feedback, I will improve. Yet I see so many people not doing it. They're like, oh, already making 10K per month. I'm already good. Yeah, you're good. If you'd be better, you make more. Do you want more or are you complacent at 10K, right? See so many sales reps or generally people, right, who hit their first, let's say 10K a month, right? They get a Rolex right away. They get a big leasing contract to pay off a monthly amount, to get a big car and all that stuff to kind of reward themselves, which is great. You should reward them yourself. But if you say you want to make 20, 30K plus, right, and you have bigger goals, reward yourself a bit later. Tell yourself, I will reward myself, but not just there yet. I'll reward myself when I hit 20K per month. Just double your goal, right? Just to put a safety mechanism in place that won't get you complacent too soon, right? And another way to do that is putting yourself in the right room with the right people that motivate you. That's one of the reasons why I came to Dubai. Sure, you could live like a king in Thailand with 5K a month. If you make more than that, you live a crazy life, right? But if I go to Thailand or Bali, like, to me, I feel like great places, but it attracts a lot of entrepreneurs that are just not as successful just yet, which is fine, right? But I want to feel uncomfortable because I know I'll be forced to grow. When I came to Dubai, I'm like the smallest fish in the pond. When you make 10K per month and you come here, you're like, I gotta level up, right? And that's why I came here, because I know there's so many people doing better, doing bigger things that will motivate me, make me uncomfortable, push me, force me to grow, right? I've said this many times. When you're in an environment where you're, let's say, the smartest person in the room, or just the person making the most money, right? Or the only person going outside of the box, doing something different, you're not in the environment that's going to really help you excel in what you're doing. You're the sum of the 5 people you spend most time with. If you spend time with a bunch of people who work a 9 to 5 and you want to start your business, they aren't the people who can give you advice and just support you in where you want to go. Hang out with entrepreneurs, right?
Can I counter that?
Sure.
Yes, to some degree, you are the sum of the people, or the 5 people you surround yourself with. I would argue, though, it's not necessarily that. It's who you compare yourself to. And you made an important point of coming to Dubai, and because of that, being forced to compare yourself to higher people. So you can be around your mom, your dad, but if you compare yourself to Nick, Alex Hormozi, you will elevate your standards, because it's like, shit, I'm here, they are here, I better get going. What do you think about that?
I do agree to an extent where the people you surround yourself with is, for example, nowadays, you have so much access to information. If you think about how much time people spend on their phone, you're surrounding yourself with certain content, certain ideas, certain whatever. Everybody has a different algorithm. If you just get weird, TikTok memes all the time, you're not going to grow from that, right? If you have an algorithm where you get a lot of motivational people and you follow just inspirational people online, right? You're being confronted with that a lot more often. That's great, but also when you just you hang around people who are not where you want to be in life, if you want it or not, and so many people they tell themselves, oh no, it doesn't happen. I can hang out with my buddies who are just just drinking all day or not going to the gym, whatever it is, right? And it's not gonna have an impact on me. It's not true. It's just not the case, right? When you hang out with people, the way they talk, the topics they discuss, the topics they don't discuss, the way they handle things, plan the weekend or don't plan the weekend, right? All these things, if you want it or not, subconsciously have an impact on you. If you want to be in a different place, you have to change your environment. I'm not saying ditch all your friends. I'm saying, like, think about it. Is spending time with them right now going to get me closer to my goal, right? And just make wise choices.
But maybe letting go of those friends, because are they aligned with your vision, right? And then just having an honest conversation with yourself. Like, look, like, are these people good for me? Yes or no, right? Because you made a good point. You made a very, very good point. And that is that the people around you, they do influence you, whether you like it or not. And I am so freaking protective of my energy. That's all I have. Like, my surroundings, my energy. I don't watch the news. People are like, yo, Dom, you don't watch the news. What's wrong with you? I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly. No, I couldn't agree more.
No, but like, genuinely, because that's negative energy. Can I change that there's a freaking world war wherever, or world war, but like bombs happening there and poverty? No, I hate it. I hate it. But all it's going to do is bring negative energy into my life.
Yeah.
I don't want that. And the same goes for negative people. If you're negative, if you're not ambitious, if you're not striving to be better, I will not be around you. And I'm very, very protective of that.
Yeah, let's touch on the thing with the environment for a bit, right? something I've learned from spending time with Ty Lopez in person is he said 33% rule. You should spend 33% of your time with people on your level that understand what you're going through, right? That can relate to where you're at, that have the same goals, right? They're on the same level, right? For example, in whatever, a sport or university, your classmates, right? They're doing what you do, to compare it. 33% you should spend with time, 33% of your time you should spend with people who are above you, ahead of you, doing bigger, better things, right? That you can learn from, that motivate you, that inspire you, right? That give you great advice. And the other 33% you should spend with people that are not on your level, that you can teach, that you can help, right? I mean, you've mentioned this, but in teaching other people and sharing what you know, you embed that knowledge even more, right? It helps you learn these things even more and kind of
Understand them better too.
exactly, right? I mean, that's one way to do it. Spend time with people who you can teach, people on your level and people above you, right? All of that. If you only spend time with people, again, who are not on your level, right? Who are just want to be where you are, but you're just teaching all the time, you're not learning anything from people who are ahead. You're not growing yourself. And in having that balance, right, I think that's a like I said, balance, right? To just excel, learn from people, teach other people, have people understand you that are on your level, all those great things. And when it comes to your circle, you have to see who is willing to grow, because everybody starts at a different level. I don't care what level you're at, really, as long as I can see you pushing, wanting to achieve more. Because take time out of the equation. If you do what it takes consistently, you will get there. I don't care if you're there now or not. I want to see if you want it, right? If we have the same alignment, the same goals, the same path that we're on. If you're a bit behind me or ahead of me on that path, who cares? We align, right? And you just gotta, when it comes to your friend group maybe, and you're trying to change your environment, see, is this person willing to push, willing to go the same path? Do they have the same goals? If yes, cool, take them along the journey if you can, right? I mean, I'm genuinely proud that I know from my close friends back in Germany, all of them make a lot more money because of opportunities that I got them into, ways of making money that I was able to show them, right? And yeah, I've also had to say goodbye to friends where I just figured they're not on that same path. They don't want to improve their life. They want to stay where they are, and they're not taking help. They just want to stay where they are. That's fine. You have to be able to make that decision and just...
But that's fine,
go on.
exactly. Like, if everyone wanted to be great, like where would we be? Like, the world needs average people to work,
Yeah.
right? It needs average people, and you just have to ask yourself, do you want to be average or not, right? And you mentioned a good point. I love that 33% thing, but I wanted to add that the people below you need to be willing to learn
Yeah,
for you
exactly.
to be able to be like, okay, I actually want to invest time into them.
Yeah.
I want to transition to environment, because fitness.
Yeah.
When I first started, or coaching rather, when I first started coaching, I told my clients, like, genuinely, you might not want to hear this, but if you truly want to lose weight, genuinely, get rid of everything. The marshmallows, the Skittles, the Snickers, get rid of it. Put chicken and broccoli into your fridge. Not saying that you only have to eat chicken and broccoli, but the point I'm trying to make is the environment, just like it does with making money, being successful, determines a lot of your success. Because let's be real, like, would you eat sweets if there were no sweets? How? So my thinking is, in anything I do, how can I create the environment that is conducive to success, that makes success inevitable? Maybe, can I ask you, Nick?
Sure.
You've been doing fitness. How is that translated into business sales success, if even?
Of course. I mean, we touched on it a moment ago that for entrepreneurs, for generally people who want to achieve something, the gym is great because it shows you, hey, if you get good at the basics consistently, you will reap the rewards in the long run. It teaches you delayed gratification in the sense that, hey, if you just show up and you don't stop, you get the rewards. It's that simple, right? Nobody goes to the gym, like I said, and gets results right away. You go to the gym, you don't see any results. You go to the gym again, you don't see any results. You go again and again and again. you see a little bit results. If you just keep going, looking back in hindsight, you'll be like, wow, like things changed, you know? That's just consistency of simple things that get the job done, right? Just like in entrepreneurship. And fitness is huge. I mean, that's actually the reason or the way that we met each other, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
We were closing on a sales team together, and
Yeah.
we were told very clearly we got selected for the team because we're both in great shape. And the business owner had that standard of saying, listen, I know that people who are consistently in the gym, they take themselves very seriously, they have a higher self-worth, and they know how to stay consistent and do what it takes.
100%. And it's, for me, it's like the traits you learn. Like, even I always say, like, football was a big catalyst for me. Like, I played at a decent level and just that consistency, but also going through shit, right? But then to transition to gym as well, you don't see the results after going to the gym once, and you're not even twice, and not even 3 times. It takes time, but it teaches you one very, very important lesson. Great shit takes time.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, you've mentioned football. For me, that was martial arts, of stepping into a gym, being a really skinny guy with not a lot of confidence, just stepping in there, seeing people fight. I was like, whoa, this is scary. And just by showing up, doing my best, 1 week after the other, I started kind of learning a few things, right? And I got a hang of it. By putting myself in uncomfortable situations, pushing my comfort zone, right? The first sparring, right? Getting into the ring, testing your skill set, all that stuff. Over time, I got really good at it. And I figured, wow, I think that's life. Everything you do, just start, don't stop, you'll get a hang of it. Boom. That's simple. No matter what it is. I mean, on a piece of paper, it's so simple if you think about learning a skill. You want to learn a language, cool, get a language coach, do this many lessons an hour, don't stop. If you don't quit and you show up, you're gonna get better at that language. And it doesn't matter if you get better 1% a day, 2% a day, 3% a day, or 0.5%, whatever. Everybody has a different rate of execution, rate of learning, and all that stuff. But what I always tell people to help them kind of take that leap of faith when they ask, oh, how long is it going to take? Is just, does it really matter? If your goal is worth it, just start and you will reach it, right? Take time out of the equation. That's that. One last thing, you said that you're very honest with your clients. I love that. Because as a coach, you're not there to just be a friend. You're there to help someone achieving their goal. And the best friends are also the friends that don't tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. I used to make a few of my friends very uncomfortable with honest realities. That helped. Still does, right? A friend of mine told him, dude, you're getting chubby. Like, hit the gym. He's like, yeah, you're right, man. And he lost 5 kgs in like the last 2.5 months.
I love that.
Right? It's not a crazy amount, but he's kind of, yeah, it was because of you. You were very honest, right? So yeah, I think being honest with people, I'm very direct with my clients. I tell them, listen, I don't care how you feel in this conversation right now, as long as you get the results that you came here for, right? And yeah.
But that shows, Nick, that you genuinely care. Because, like, if they didn't tell you that, do they really want the best for you?
Yeah.
Like, can I ask you, you're in good shape. Has that given you, because, I mean, you started with martial arts, right? For me, it's not just getting in shape. Like, that's amazing. I love looking in the mirror. Yes, I do love looking in the mirror and being like, Dom, you're a sexy motherfucker, right? I love it, yeah. But it's not just that. It's the evidence it gave me that I can do anything I set my mind to.
Yeah.
Anything, literally. You tell me I can't do it, I'll freaking do it. But it started with that one thing. And it's, for me, it's like health is like your body is everything. It's for me, I like saying food is fuel, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're not healthy, how can you be your best for your friends, your family? How can you be the best in your job, your business? How can you say you're a leader if you're not even leading by example when it comes to your body?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Exactly the same way. You can't perform if you're not in a state to perform, right? You can't be sharp mentally if you're just we could give so many examples, but if you're just, I don't know, your body is lacking it, you're overloading on carbs, you feel down, you want to sleep, whatever, right? If you are in the right state body-wise, you're way more likely to be in the right frame of mind mentally, because your body's just in an ideal state to perform, to feel well. And if you feel well from your body, you have a much more positive mindset anyways all the day. Your frequency is better, you're way more willing to achieve things, right? So same thing with my clients. If they hit the gym, they're going to be more successful. It's that simple, right? Especially when it comes to consistency. So yeah, I think that's definitely where you provide a lot of value to people in just listening to what they want to achieve, helping them stay consistent, do exactly that, and like you said, be brutally honest. And yeah, it's definitely enjoyable having been in a similar situation of coaching people and helping them lose weight. It's amazing the results that you see in direct contact with your clients, if that's in the gym or coaching people at sales and seeing their life change from somebody working just a job that they're not happy with to living a free life, and things really changing for the better. It's very enjoyable to be a coach. I can say that for myself. I believe it's the same thing for you. And it's really a pleasure to look at your journey, what you're doing, and it's great to have you here in Dubai soon. So I'm looking forward to, let's do another podcast definitely when you're here in Dubai fully settled, right? And
we were like, should we do 1 hour, 2 hours? And the time has passed so quickly.
Yeah.
Like, it's been an absolute pleasure. Like, literally, I feel like we could have talked for 5 hours plus.
We can. I mean, we could continue this conversation for a long time. That's why I said let's definitely do a second part.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been a great conversation, Dom. Really enjoyed it. And we'll do another one for sure.
100%. Nick, you're a great dude. I appreciate you. And just real quick, where can people find you?
Yeah, sure. So my Instagram is Nick Oliver David. You can just check me out there, right? If you're interested to get into sales, or you're already in sales, but you just want a better opportunity to make more money online, or you're a business owner and you want to build a great sales team, right? Hit me up and we'll have a chat.